If you're constantly craving food, you feel like you have to snack all the time, your energy levels are all over the place, you can't focus, you struggle with your weight, or any of these extra symptoms here, trust me, I've been there, I know what it's like, and it could be down to one thing. You might not be getting enough protein in your meals. And if you think protein is just for gym goers and for muscle building, it is not. It is for everyone, particularly if you're over the age of 40, you're female, you have a plant predominant diet, you're gonna learn why protein is so important for our health and how adding more protein to your meals will stack the deck in your favor when it comes to healthy years in your later life. Protein is sort of like your built-in hunger manager. When you eat protein-rich foods, things like full-fat yogurt, eggs, cheese, tofu, or even seeds like hemp seed, they break down into little building blocks called amino acids. And these amino acids are sort of like little chemical messengers, and the way in which we build these amino acids together build larger structures like muscles, bones, and even hormones and enzymes. When you consume these protein-rich foods, these amino acids essentially help signal by encouraging your satiety hormones, things like CCK, GLP-1, that signal to your brain that you're getting protein in your diet. It also reduces hunger hormones like ghrelin as well. All these little effects that happen when you eat protein-rich food signal to your body that you are full. You've had enough food because you've had enough protein. This ties in with a hypothesis called the protein leverage hypothesis. This is essentially the theory that your body will still crave all foods until you've had a significant amount of protein. When we think about protein, the word, it's actually derived from the Greek word that means primary, because protein is the most important macronutrient. It's kind of like your body has a protein target. You will not be satisfied until you hit that target that is unique to you. This is just a theory or an idea, but it could be one of the many reasons why ultra-processed foods lead you to over-consume calories, because they tend to be protein deficient. And you can sort of imagine this in real life. I mean, if I gave you 1,000 calories of chips, you'd probably still feel kind of hungry after eating that, particularly if you were hungry to start off with. But if I gave you 1,000 calories of steak, you'd feel pretty full afterwards. Now, there's a reason for this, and this is related to benefit number 2. Protein can help you maintain a healthy body composition and keep weight off. One of the hardest things about weight loss is actually the weight regain. Over half of people who lose weight regain it after 2 years, and that number goes even higher to 80% of people after 5 years of losing weight. Several long-term trials actually show that people on higher protein diet tend to keep the weight off and preferentially lose more fat. Now, why might that be? When you have a high protein diet, you are preserving your muscle mass. When you lose weight from all different compartments in your body. You lose weight from, yes, the fat that most people want to get rid of, but you also lose it from your muscles, which are super important to preserve. When you have a higher protein diet, you're more likely to maintain that lean muscle mass that you want to keep and lose the weight preferentially from fat. And that fat comes from the fat that we keep on the outside of our body called subcutaneous fat, and also, importantly, from the fat that we keep inside our body called visceral fat. And that's the kind of fat that we definitely want to get rid of, as it coats our internal organs. So this means eating more protein helps with a better overall body composition rather than just losing weight by any means necessary. One of the other ways in which protein can help with body composition is via the thermogenic effect of food. You see, when you eat energy in the form of food, some of that energy is utilized to actually break down the food that you're consuming. And protein has a higher amount of energy required to break those bonds between the amino acids that we were talking about before, compared to carbohydrates and fats that are easily broken down. Your body has to use 20 to 30% of the calories from protein to break it down, compared to 5 to 10% of the energy in the form of calories for fats and carbohydrates. So essentially, your body has to burn more energy to break down a higher protein diet. And just like we talked about, protein makes it easier for you to eat less by keeping you fuller for longer. Even if you're not concerned about weight loss or body composition, there are a string of other long-term benefits of having enough protein in your diet that you need to know about. Having enough protein in your diet supports muscle health. Muscle health isn't all about your aesthetics. It's actually all about longevity. Longevity is this idea that not only do we want to live longer, we want to live those later years and as best as health as possible. For you, that might be the ability to pick up your grandkids in older age, or the ability to still go hiking and be independent into your 80s and 90s. And for that to happen, you need to start depositing into your muscle bank. We need to be building muscle in our 30s, 40s, and 50s because over time, that muscle bank tends to decline. We tend to lose muscle in later age, and that can put us at risk of a number of different issues. Not only falls and immobility, but also metabolic conditions like type 2 diabetes and even dementia as well. You've got to think about your muscles like the foundation of a house. The stronger that foundation, the more likely that house is going to stand the test of time. The shakier the foundation, the more leaks, the more holes in it, the less likely it is that that house is going to be in good order in a few decades. Before you think muscle loss and things like sarcopenia, which is a rapid loss of muscle in older age, is just an older age problem, remember that you can start losing muscle as early as your 40s. Muscle health is not only important for falls, but it's also important for your brain. There is an association between improved muscle health and reduced risks of dementia. Now, why is that? Well, you've got to think about your muscles like endocrine organs, organs that release hormones and reduce inflammation. You see, your muscles are big sinks for sugar in our bloodstream. Our muscles also signal to other areas of our body, including our brain. So if we reduce inflammation, we reduce brain inflammation, that can also reduce the risk of dementia. Healthier menopause. Menopause is a time in a woman's life where the hormones like estrogen and testosterone massively reduce, and this can lead to a myriad of different things around the body because estrogen has receptors everywhere. Our heart health, our brain health, and our bone health can all be affected. So when you consume enough protein and you couple that with exercise, you are looking after your bones, which is exceptionally important for postmenopausal women. And this is something, again, that you want to build up pre-menopause rather than reacting to it post-menopause. There was actually a recent paper that looked at a number of different studies looking at protein intake and your risk of dying. And what they found is that the more protein in your diet, the less likely you were to die of all different causes. And that effect was magnified the more plant-based proteins you had in your diet. So remember, when I say protein, you might automatically be thinking that Dr. Rupi is telling you to eat more beef, more lamb, more chicken. Not necessarily. Actually, I think you should be getting a wide array of different proteins, and we're going to be talking about that in a different video coming up. So remember these three things about having more protein in your diet. Number one, protein powers your day. It cuts cravings, it keeps you energized, and it maintains your focus. Second, it helps you maintain a healthy weight, but not just weight loss by any means necessary. It helps you reduce fat whilst keeping your muscles preserved. And number three, protein helps you age better by virtue of it improving your muscle health. And that effect is magnified if you're having enough protein and you're exercising as well. It will keep you active, independent, and sharp no matter your age. And if you want to know some healthy high protein recipes in general, then click on the link down below where we've got a whole collection of healthy high protein recipes on the Doctor's Kitchen app.